Next in this video, we're going to look at what is your marketing strategy for your own agency. And this can be an area that can often get forgotten. You know, you're doing all the marketing campaigns for your clients. It can get really busy with your agency, and that's okay. That can happen. But the time is now to prioritize your own marketing as much as you do for your clients. One of the things I recommend here is to actually allocate an account manager or a content strategist on your team to be the person responsible for your own marketing. So actually put them into your client portfolio, allocate a budget, allocate some time, and then get that person to report back to you. So treat yourself like you would one of your clients. So let's start with some key questions. How do you generate leads for your agency? Is it you constantly going out there, networking? Where are the leads coming from? Is it a lot of referrals, a lot of word of mouth? And this is great, but what happens when you stop working for a couple of weeks? Do the leads dry up? Where does your business actually come from? So you might generate a lot of leads, but then where does the actual closing sales come from? What's your lead generation process? Do you have a clear strategy? Now, I work with many digital agency owners who are still involved in the sales process, and they'll say to me, yeah, I do sales. But unless you are actually coming in every morning and diligently following up with every lead on your website, reaching out to people in LinkedIn, and consistently doing the sales process, which we discussed in the previous videos, unless you're doing that religiously, strictly for 2 hours every day with a number of quantities of those activities coming out, it's not going to be a consistent pipeline. And as an agency owner, you get to make a call and go, that's not important today. Somebody's resigned, that's more important. And sometimes the prospecting and the lead generation process gets kicked to one side. Do you even have a marketing strategy? Maybe when you started out the business, you had a strategy in place, but you haven't done it in a while. Do you rely on your network to refer you business? And this can, as I said, be really intense when you decide to take a holiday because you haven't been out there paving, walking the streets and, building up the pipeline. It can suddenly dry up, and that's an awful lot of pressure to put on you as the agency owner. So let's get back to some really simple basics. I mean, you do know how to do marketing for your own clients, but let's just look at the marketing that you've got done there. And can you do some simple, quick wins that can start to get you on the good path again for your agency marketing? Look at all the offers that you've done in the past and choose the best one. Maybe refresh the landing page. Now, this could be you going, do you know what? We haven't done this in so long. We need to do a new one. Or it could be rejigging lots of material that you have already. You can either create the CTA or rebrand, change colors, do some A/B testing. Then take that offer and promote it to your database. Push out an offer out there. Start to see how it's picked up. You could update your email workflows, making sure that the CTA is down the bottom of it. You can actually have blogs and update every blog post, your top performing 10 blogs, update them with this new offer. And your website, have it on the homepage and have it on your top pages. Next, get on the phone. Call these warm and even cold leads, people that you haven't talked to in ages, but you had a good feeling about, you liked them, you want to work with their business. And set a target. I highly encourage agency owners who are still in the sales process to actually earn their BDR, earn your business development manager. Say to yourself, if I do this activity for, maybe it's 30 days, 90 days, I do this particular activity of prospecting, you set the targets, how many you're going to do each day. 2 hours a day, first thing in the morning, get them done first. Create the process and then decide, when you get X amount of revenue in on a consistent basis, then you can go and hire a business development rep. You will have done all the documenting of the work that's done. You've done the work, so you know how to train them, and off you go. You are now out of that prospecting side of things. You are just doing maybe the connect calls, exploratory calls. Eventually the BDR will take over the connect calls. And eventually you want to grow them into the role so that maybe they're going out doing meetings for you and they're actually closing sales. So a salesperson, if you go back through all the videos here, we have talked about this as an accountability chart, creating the role, creating the targets, creating the forecast, and get yourself out of that role. It's not going to grow your agency successfully if you have a tactical hand in sales. You can be consultative, you can be the thought leader, you can go out and generate leads, but if your agency is relying on you every day to do the prospecting, calling, closing, being an agency owner, you can get distracted and taken away from that tasks. So that's a bit of a basic refresh when it comes to your marketing. And maybe there's things you can do here that you haven't done before, or there's time to refresh what's out there. The same thing with buyer personas. It might have been a long time since you've done these. Again, I've spoken about this in the sales, but I'm a big believer in repetition. Let's talk about this. Maybe you didn't get around to that video, or maybe you haven't done it. So let's just do it quickly. Who do you like working with? What industries do they belong to? What's your agency specialization? And there's a great webinar from Perry and Penguin Strategies. At the end of this, there's a bonus webinar to help you with your agency specialization and why it's important. I love this one about personalities. A lot of people talk about niches and industries and specific markets, but who do you like working with, and what are the results that you get that you really enjoy doing? So that's just a quick one, but for deeper work, go to makemypersona.com and then do a workshop with the team. That's the next step here, is to get a deeper level on it. Perhaps bring in the marketing and sales team. How I recommend to do this is to maybe book a 90-minute session. You could do a lunch and learn and get some sandwiches in, or get some pizza. Maybe it might make you a bit sleepy, but get some food in and lock down the room and start to work on your persona. Do a review, pull up the ones that you have in the past, print them out, put them up on the wall. Get some post-it notes among the group, because what you want to do is you want to ask questions and get people to write down their answers. You would get pictures of the persona, and when you have them done, and print them when you're actually completed, have them around the office. So you take the Make My Persona, get people to write down on the post-it notes, and so that you collect everyone's answers. And when you've agreed on them, then print them out. And now you have 2 to 3 personas. Once they're up and around the office, I always say put a blank page beside the persona and ask people for content ideas. Put a question up, show them the campaign that's going this month, remind them that there is a campaign going out. Can they promote it on LinkedIn? Have they ideas about it? Get everyone involved in their ideas. There are people who are driving to the office and they're listening to the radio. There are people who are listening to podcasts on their commute. There's people who are reading material. And once they understand the persona, the campaigns that are running, your whole team is going to start to give you ideas for your buyer persona. They'll come in and they'll go, hey, I was listening to this on the radio. I think it's relevant. And now all of a sudden you have the whole company bought into the persona. They feel like they know them. And a great thing about this is when somebody actually signs up as a client, your team feel like they know them because they've identified the persona, they've related to it. They might have even provided some content ideas. So personas aren't just for marketing or sales, they're for your whole company. At the end of the month, you could do a review and show people what worked in the campaign, what didn't work in the campaign. Were the campaigns so successful that you got new clients, and could those clients be case studies in the future? Get everyone involved, get your account managers involved, get every single person in the company to contribute, to know the personas you're going after, to identify with them, and to get involved. So ways to develop your agency marketing. The first thing you need to do is to promote yourself. You really do need to get noticed. The more people that know you, the more people will likely to read up on you, on what you do, your work and your agency. Now, for some agencies, this can be difficult. So maybe it might be time to hire an external person to come in and do some interviews. I think we've all seen what Gary Vee is up to these days with VaynerMedia about just constant documenting, having a videographer on hand, talking and interviewing his story. I mean, that you have a great story. So get somebody outside to do it. Maybe it's a budding journalist, maybe it's somebody who's on work experience, but you have to start to get your story out and your personality. Next, you've got to look at publishing original content. It can be easy to post the same things over and over again. And in the digital marketing world, we're so hell-bent on our acronyms that we can get wrapped up in the terminology and we leave people behind. So in order to seem professional, make sure you come up with something original to publish. The internet is big, so you can't invent the wheel every time, but make sure you do it sometimes. Go back through your questions that people have asked you in the past, either in person or on email, and start to answer those questions. That's a really simple place to start. Pick a niche, go after an industry that you love or the personalities of those industries that you love. If you love creative people, if you love people who like sport, like really think about your niche. You have to stand out and do something different, and definitely dig into that agency specialization webinar at the end. Your website needs to be on point. In order to be perceived as you want to be, you have to look the part as well. And again, I've talked about this, it can be so easy getting wrapped up in clients' work that we forget to look at our own work. So having it as a point, every single week, updates done, every single month, improvements done. I'm not a big believer on the constant web rebranding, redoing a website. It can take an awful lot of time unless you do the GDD, the growth-driven design method. But I am a big believer on constant upgrading and like doing new campaigns and getting your landing pages fresh and smart. And that really is having a dedicated person in your team responsible for your own marketing. Get a hold of your visitors and leads. Make processes to turn new visitors into leads and nurture the leads further into the buyer's journey. So having every single person that connects with you, there has to be something for them. Is there a chatbot? Is there a way for them to call you? Can they fill in a form? Can they download? Don't let any visitor not have numerous ways to interact with you. Use past clients for case studies to show potential clients your worth. Now, this again could be a really good thing to hire a journalist, hire somebody to go out and do a video interview with your best clients, and then take that video and make it into multiple different types of content. And lastly on this, be your own best client. Again, I've talked about that over and over again. And finally, you can actually share your processes, document your secret sauce, and share this on videos and tutorials. Now, a lot of agencies shy away from this, but I highly recommend you look at Impulse Creative. They've really taken a hold of their YouTube channel and started to show people how to use these tools. Now, you might be thinking, God, I can't show my clients, how to do things. Yes, you can. The more you show them that you're the expert, the more you show them how much is involved, the more likely they're to realize that they can't do this work without you and they need to hire you. So show people how to do things and then lead from there that you are the expert. Next on here is to review your current marketing activities and do a comprehensive review of your marketing software. No matter which platform you're using, even if it's WordPress and MailChimp, or if it's Infusionsoft, or you could be using HubSpot. Conduct a marketing audit review. Do this for your own agency and measure the approximate hours it takes for the person that's doing it. You can then create a template and you can offer this as a service. So a checklist that you might do would be to review your top performing content, blog posts, website pages, videos, ebooks, articles, etc., and make a list of that top performing content. Analyze the conversion points, the calls to action, the forms that are generating the most leads. Review email performance and the conversion rates as well. Now, this audit is a great thing to do for your own business, and then templatize it and bang, straight up. Set up a landing page on your website, and cost it according to the hours it took you. Do an approximate. So you could say, we can do a marketing audit for your software. Contact us here and let them fill in a form, and you could put in a ballpark price. I've seen these audits being done by agencies, and they can go anywhere between 800 and 5,000 USD. It's a fantastic way to start to see if somebody's really interested in working with you. And again, like I talked about in the sales part of things, taking that person who loves going, hey, can you come out and do a pitch? You can go, well, actually, a pitch won't cut it. You know, I think what we recommend is doing a marketing audit. You could also include their CRM and their sales. Once you start to get in there, understanding their business, you have a much better chance of converting them into a customer. And you're getting paid, and it's really profitable work. So let's have a little guide here to keep your own marketing strategy for your agency in check. So first of all here, you've really got to look at assessing your talent. Now, back in the people section of the pillar of this course, there is a whole how to create a center of excellence, how to do a skills map. So consider the talents that you have in your own team. What are their roles and responsibilities, and how well are they fulfilling these roles? Do they need to be trained to improve their output, and what kind of training do they need? Find out how to best merge traditional and modern marketing, and be sure to fill in the gaps. And out of the whole team, like, who is the best person to actually be the person responsible to do the marketing for your own agency? You have to assess your own strategy. Do you even have one? Or is it, so far long ago that you did it that it needs a complete refresh? You have to have a plan in place to map out the growth of your agency. How many leads do you need to come in? What is your conversion rate so that you can actually sell more? Once you have that mapped, then you can map out how many more people you need to hire. Are there specific industries you want to focus on? How are you going to stand out amongst your competitors? Are you reaching and connecting with your buyer persona? Are you using the right tools to advance in content production and publishing? Next, with your strategy is to assess your assets. Is every asset on your website fully utilized? Are there any outdated materials? I see a lot of agencies out there who have old content. They haven't touched it for a while. So the time is to dedicate someone on your team, get them in there, get them doing an audit, get them to present that back to you, and instead of doing a complete website overhaul, do a tidy up and a refresh and a clean up and some new images. And that's a much better way of just giving it a little bit of a pep in its step. You might just take down landing pages, rejig them, and republish. Do you have clients that are willing to share their success stories and get them recorded on video? Do the transcript, their blog posts, use the cuts of those videos. There's so many things to do if you just go out and do an interview with a client of what was the problem before you hired the agency? Why did you hire this agency? What was the work that was done with this agency? What are the results? What difference has it made to their business? I mean, those few questions, huge amount of content in them. Assess your marketing performance. Keep a close eye on your website monthly visitors to know how many people are making it to your website. If this number is at par with your goals, you may choose to continue your online marketing strategy or bank more on the strategies that prove to be effective in your agency. If you find that your current monthly visitors do not match your goals, then make the necessary adjustments in your strategy. In general, it's really important to keep track of the progress of your marketing initiatives to know how well you are performing and what other items you need to tick off on your list. Assess your content. Do a review of all the top performing campaigns, content pieces, videos, and connect the dots. Write them down and make videos. If you've got a great blog post, turn it into a video. If you've got a great video, turn it into an article. And show people how you help them. Show the results that you've got. Show what the problem was before, what you did for them, the results afterwards. That's what people are looking for. Less jargon, more business terminology, normal business terminology, and results. So that is a little overview of agency marketing strategy, and hopefully some ideas there and a clear step-by-step of what you need to do. Really is time to get back in and pay attention to your own marketing so that you can get your own consistent leads and start to get your results happening. Thank you.